Hey guys, we're super excited to be here at the LA Fit Expo. It's our third year in a row. And what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be launching the Tasty Pastry. It's a low-carb Pop-Tart. It's got 3 to 4 grams of net carbs. And we love this show. This is our best place to be in LA.
Welcome back to Legendary Foods Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo and today is Tuesday, February 2nd, 2021. And let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. I know people like to say that age is only a number. It's how young you feel that really counts. And that's all well and good, but sometimes in life the numbers do actually count for something, like the number 300. Which just so happens to be a new high watermark for Samson Dauda at this point in his off-season. Samson's been relatively quiet lately, but a few days ago he did poke his head out of hibernation to let his fans know what he's been up to. Samson was dealt a pretty unlucky hand last year in terms of how things shook out with a few of the shows he tried to compete in. But this is a new year, and apparently this is also a new Samson. So if he can build up some mojo early on, he's someone who has a breakout star potential written all over him. Speaking of breakout stars, if you had to pick one athlete who really made a name for himself last year in classic physique, Bryan Jones would be a lot of people's first round pick. According to someone from inside Bryan's camp, he's got himself up close to 230 pounds now. And from a conditioning standpoint, this is the leanest he's ever been at this weight. Given how competitive the top 8 or 10 guys in classic physique have been the last few years, for Bryan to be able to step in and snatch a top 6 finish speaks volumes about his talent level. So if he plays it smart and doubles down on his strengths, I could see a scenario where he might even be able to bump up a few spots before the end of the season. As the great George Santayana once wrote, those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. That being said, I've known William Bonak for almost 10 years now. The man's got a pretty good memory, and I know that there's no way that he has any intention of letting what happened at the Olympia last December repeat itself again. Even at this early stage of the year, it already looks like he's more dialed into his training than he's been in recent months. Now add that to the fact that he won't have a quick Olympia to Arnold Classic turnaround that he had for the last 3 or 4 years. And you can start to see how the tea leaves point to him having the potential for a really strong season. Sometimes things happen for a reason and we don't understand why until later down the road. But if he winds up rebounding strong, I'm sure it'll all have been worth it in the end. This year I'm leaning towards the latter of those two scenarios, but I do want to throw a name out there of someone who I think could be interesting. Vlad Suhoruchko. He's a 24-year-old Ukrainian native who won his pro card at the European qualifier last year. And according to reports, he was walking around somewhere in the neighborhood of 285 pounds as of last weekend. Vlad's team hasn't come right out and said that they have plans to compete yet this year, but he's hinted a few times about making his pro debut in 2021. So as we get deeper into the season, you might want to remember his name because he could be one of those come out of nowhere rookies that we see every so often. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.